Welcome to Innovate to Innovate. I'm Matias Lucero, and I'm your host at today's episode, brought to you by Post Studio, branding and web design agency located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So, for today's episode, we have a new expert, Devi,
Hi, everyone.
and we have on the other side Luhan, which you have met her before in another episodes.
Hey, guys.
So, thank you guys for joining in. Today, we wanted to speak a little bit more about websites and why every business needs it. So, I have a couple of questions that I think will help our audience to understand why, if they have a business or if they're starting a business, why they should think and invest on having a website. So, because my first question for you, Debbie, it's like, why does everybody need a website? Like, what's the purpose?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Everybody needs a website. That's a fact. It's going to help you to look legit and professional, first of all. It's really going to help you with potential customers to fund you and, to get the lowdown on your stuff. I think it's very important. We are in 2024, so everybody needs to have a digital presence. I think that's a must. Yes.
Yes, and I think a website it's there 24/7, so it's super handy for marketing, and that's often a cheaper way to handle marketing, and it's better than an old school way to do it.
Yeah, and
Exactly. Sorry.
it's also serves as storefront. So, some websites might be an e-commerce where, you could be selling your products, and other ones could be just merely informative. But I think it's always good, as you guys were saying, specifically for visibility, which brings me to my second question, that it's, what's the purpose, or why is it important to have a good website? What's the difference between having a good and a bad website?
So a good website will have a structure, will have a well-structured navigation, will be user-friendly. And these all things are very, it's a process where a UX and UI designer is behind that. And it meticulously thinks every step that the user or customer we have with the experience on the website or the app or the e-commerce. And I think the main goal is people will stay longer and come back for more of what you offer.
Yeah. And when it comes to conversions, I think it's in a smooth design guides users through the sales, and it's better for them. That means it's more completed in actions like signups and purchases, and that simplifies a lot the call to actions and boost the conversations in general.
Yeah, so I guess it's what I'm understanding is that basically it also, to say in another way, needs to be tailored versus using a template. Like, for example, I've heard like a lot of these companies that they say, hey, I need a website, and I just went to Wix.com, or I went to like some sort of business or marketplace and just like got a cheap website done, and like probably they did it with with a template, and it's not tailored for them, so it's not going to help them convert because it's just not meant to be for their business. Which I feel like talking about that, when you think about a website, you need to go through this whole process about okay, what's right for me, what it's not right for me, which things could work, which things could not, and obviously, when you work with an agency, that can help you out. But I would love to hear from you based on our experience, Debbie, like what's usually part of the process that we do at Poster Studio when we kick off a web design project.
Yeah, the process that we embark when we start the UX and UI design process is the immersion. We start with the immersion and we dive into research about the client and their audience. And, we need to get the user's needs and pain points plus a checkout of the competition. So all this gathering of information is going to be useful for us to make the structure of the website, because we are going to see how the competitors are using the architecture information, and also we are going to see how is the industry using the brand colors, the language, the vocabulary, how they sell the products, how they sell the services. All these things are in the immersion stage. Then we follow up with the structure that I already mentioned, but we start to create the structure for the website. So in this stage, we lay out the sitemap and the wireframes. This helps to organize the content logically for the user experience. We are going to try to tackle user-friendly interface experience, and at the same time we are going to try to we're going to try to make the flows that will lead to a conversion, for example. Sorry.
Yeah, and then no, yeah, that totally makes sense. And like, it was just coming to my mind, like how important it is just understanding who your customers are, because like before jumping into the design stage, like just doing all this research and all this thought behind it, it's like it's gonna be almost impossible that then your website doesn't convert.
Yes, exactly. And when we are done with all this structuring and all the research stage, we get into the next stage, which is UI designing. And this is the fun part. This is the part where when everybody gets excited.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody likes the research and all that fun boring stuff.
Looks very boring. Yes, exactly. And we play with visual styles through mood boards and concepts. And also we're trying to be very aligned with the branding that the company or brand already have. And in this stage, we also have the client feedback, which is crucial to nail the vision and their needs visually. And finally, after all this process, we refine the design and we make tweaks, details, maybe create both prototypes. It depends on each project. And then we validate everything, and we prepare a document for development.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's when. Yeah, I know, and that's very helpful. Because most people don't know about all these details that you gotta go. They think like, oh, you just grab a template, change the name, tagline, the picture, and that's it. But like, there's so much more on it. And like even with responsive design, like I feel like a lot of people obviously, and I think part of us as designers, it's also almost like a duty to teach our clients and people like, okay, like this is why you need to go through the process, and this is why you should have this kind of website, and teach them what's the difference between a responsive and a non-responsive website, which I think probably a lot of our audience have heard it before, but responsive website, it's essentially when your website can be seen and it's optimized for mobile devices. So no matter the size of your screen, you're going to be able to see it, and it's going to be looking good, and it's going to be optimizing on it, because that's another thing that people forget about it. But like 80% of traffic always comes from mobile phones.
Yeah.
So it's when you're designing, you got to think about that. Like, what do we optimize? Desktop? Do we optimize thinking just mobile, or do we optimize both? Like, obviously you should do both, but I feel like when people use templates, they don't really think about those details, just because they don't know.
It's like you said before, Mati, it's like a very tailored service. Like, we look to every detail. So I think that's one of the perks of designing with us. I think it's a very, very detailed process.
Yes, it's important. Good. And I think, well, what we do actually is to test on various devices, and we really check on, how it works on Chrome, how it works on Safari, how it works on iPhone and Android. We really get we really go through all these devices and formats to see how is performing the website or e-commerce or any other website. Yes, I think we are really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're always talking about this, but we're always trying to polish our process. I think, like, if we look back when we started a few years ago, like, the process has been changing a lot. But we always had this thing in mind, like, okay, we want to do like custom tailored designs. We don't want to use just a template. We want to, we're not selling a website. We're selling you, like a product that it's going to help you convert more and to potentially have more and more sales, because at the end of the day, we want clients to grow, because if not, we all get stuck. So that's why it's so important, not only to have a website, but to actually go through a process of what's creating a website. Just like when you create your logo, if you care about your brand and you want to maximize retention on sales and maximize your money efforts and time efforts, you definitely need to put it on something that's worth it, something that's going to last, and most important, something that it's going to help you convert to sell more.
Yes.
So I think that's a wrap for today's episode of Innovate to Elevate. We hope you like this episode about web design. And if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments of your podcast platform, and we'll catch up on the next one. Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Lujan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.